what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be watching some Nostalgia Critic, and it's going to be Follow That Bird. So this is going to be very strange because I've never heard of this. Is it a movie? Is it a TV series? I have no idea. So yeah, let's check out the video and see what it's all about, shall we? Let's go.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. In 1969, Sesame Street was born,
That's what it's
an
about.
educational show that actually made learning numbers, letters, and words somewhat entertaining. It was put together by puppeteer legends Frank Oz, Jim Henson, and a few others. For a while, it was everywhere, and if you can believe it, this show is actually still on TV, running almost 40 years non-stop.
Yeah, wow.
Surely there must be some kind of movie we can exploit out of this. Luckily there is. In 1985, Warner Brothers released their big-screen motion picture groundbreaking epic, Follow That Bird. Good lord, this is gonna be painful. The show itself never made any sense, so what makes people think that a movie about it is gonna make any sense? I haven't seen this movie in years. I just remember that it was weird and childish. I mean, okay, it's a children's movie, but that's beside the point. It's time I look over this crazy, nonsensical garbage and give it the beating that it deserves. So, let's dive right in at the beginning.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the Grouch Anthem?
No. With a Grouch Anthem, you stay sitting down.
Oh my god, it's Oscar! I haven't seen him in years! He's like the first puppet I ever saw in my entire life. He's like totally responsible for the grumpy personality I am today. I mean, I just looked up to him, I just loved him, and I'm sure this movie's still gonna blow despite him! Alright, so it starts out with an organization called the Feathered Friends, which apparently relocates orphan birds with proper families. It turns out that Big Bird is on that list. Dude, look at this information. Was someone stalking him? And one representative, Miss Finch, goes to his aid. So this logically brings us to Sesame Street, where we, of course, come across Big Bird! Oh my god! He is just as big as I remember him. Some things never change when you're a child. It's a man in a costume! A big, lovable, heartwarming costume. So he's told that there's a family called the Dodos who are willing to take him in and look after him. So Big Bird, always looking for a family, agrees and decides to say goodbye to all his friends. It's Snuffleupagus! Snuffleupagus! He's like a big hairy Dumbo, but with depression.
Oh, Snuffy, I guess this is goodbye.
Reminds me of Eeyore from
Oh no, Big Bird, don't leave! Don't
Winnie
leave,
the
Mr.
Pooh.
Snuffleupagus!
I hate to see you go.
He's got the little trumpet wraps around his... What the hell's wrong with me? I'm a Nostalgia Critic, not the pussified emotional cries over every Sesame Street related motion picture epic where every person, puppet, and occasional crappy animated animal tugs at your heartstrings critic.
Wow,
Okay, so
damn,
Big Bird goes
impressive.
to live with the Dodos, but finds he's not really fitting in. Mostly because the Dodos are certifiably insane. It's pretty bad when a group of characters seem so crazy that even a Sesame Street movie can't pull them off as normal.
Great time we're having. Get the door, Marie.
No way.
Go on.
You get the door.
Get the door,
Get
Marie.
the door.
Go on and get it.
No.
Don't be stubborn.
I'm not
Go on, Marie.
I'm not gonna.
Get the door.
This is worse than I thought.
Wanting to keep his mental health, Big Bird runs away and tries to get back home. But Miss Finch is determined to get him back before he reaches his destination. So the Sesame Street gang goes looking for him. The gang consisting of Oscar and Grover, the Count, Cookie
my
Monster, and Bert and Ernie! As you notice, Bert and Ernie are sharing the exact same plane. That's because they also share the exact same bed. See, it's because... I can't do it! I can't make fun of Sesame Street! It's the first show I ever saw! I'm sorry about the gay joke, Bert and Ernie. Whatever your sexual preference is, it's none of my business. I'm sorry, Big Bird. I'm sorry, Grover. I'm sorry, everybody. I love you all. You're all so beautiful and innocent to me. You are childhood. I can't do it.
I know how you feel.
I'm gonna get someone else to review the movie.
I know how you feel.
Hey you! You want $20? Go review this movie.
Hooray! Oh, I am here to review... What's the name of this movie again?
Follow That Bird.
Oh my god, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life! There's this bird who runs away from home, only to run away from his home again to get back to the first home that he ran away from in the first place. And there's this lady who looks like one of my acid fantasies, and she is trying to bring him back home to the home that he ran away from the second time. Now I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So anyway, there's these two guys, and they're like, dude, that's a big bird. And they're like, let's paint him blue for some reason and parade him around like an animal, which he is an animal, so I guess that's legal. Meanwhile, Bert and Ernie are flying, Super Grover is flying, and Oscar is flying, except on the ground. And Cookie Monster ate his car because he thought it was a cookie. I thought my car was a cookie once, but it wasn't a cookie or a car. It was man. So they find Big Bird, and at first they're like, hooray, but then they're like, oh crap. So they have a big car chase scene, and they're like, jump, and he's like, no, and they're like, jump, and he's like, no, and they're like, jump, and he's like, okay. So the bad guys are taken away by Officer John Candy, and Big Bird is returned back to Sesame Street. But Miss Fitch is like, I have to take you back home, and Big Bird is like, dude, what is your deal? Everybody's like, this is his home, go back to Russia. So the moral of the story is, home is not about where you belong or where you need to be, it's all about where you live. I live in a box, so that blows donkeys. I'm Chester A. Bum saying, I remember it so you don't change! You got change! Ah, come on, help a guy out, will ya? Come on, change! Well, can you at least tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Nobody seems to know!
Did he say John Candy? Oh my god, I wish I could see a little bit more of him. John Candy is absolutely incredible. He is absolutely funny. I think he was in the movie Trains, Planes, Automobiles that with Steve Martin, I believe. That was one of the greatest movies I've ever seen, comedy-wise. It was absolutely hilarious. But I think I'm thinking of the right John Candy. I mean, John Candy, he's been in other films as well. What's he? He's been in other films, but I can't remember him. I have seen him, but I just can't remember all the other films. It was like they went. It was like they went camping in a forest, and it had that guy from Ghostbusters. Can't remember his name. But yeah, it was. He went camping. He was also in Uncle Buck. That's another one I remember. Uncle Buck, I believe. The bowling ball and all that stuff. That was great. When the bowling ball falls on his head. But we're getting off subject here. But yeah, Follow That Bird. I've never seen it. I've really never grew up with Sesame Street. I'm sorry. I never really grew up with Sesame Street. That's just something I never really watched as a kid. I never really watched TV series a lot. I watched like horror films quite a lot, to be honest. The Evil Dead, some other horror films. I just used to watch the Horror Channel 24/7. I really had a weird childhood, I gotta say. I used to watch a lot of horror stuff. I don't know why. And it was it wasn't PG stuff. I mean, it was pretty, really age-restricted stuff. But yeah, I mean, oh, wow. Just thinking about it, but some of the stuff was really good. I'm glad that my parents weren't very restrictive in what I was watching. I mean, I hate that stuff. Just let kids watch what they want to watch. For God's sake. But yeah, this was good. Follow That Bird. Good review. Even though I haven't seen it, but it has John Candy in it, and if it's got John Candy in it, it's a 10 out of 10 right away. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give a like, comment down below, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!